All right, let's be honest. All first attempts, all first versions of things definitely tend to leave something to be desired. They could use some refinement. There are definitely areas in which they can be improved upon. And we at the Renegade Institute, we are definitely not the exception. We are absolutely part of that rule as well. So 3 months after filming my very first episode, the Welcome to the Renegade Institute episode, I'm going to go back and go through all the cringy moments and all the shortcomings, and I'm going to grade myself, and we're not going to hold anything back. So let's dig into it. Welcome to the Renegade Institute. We are so excited to launch. This is our very first episode, remixed. Not our first episode. I wish it were, but it's not. So real talk. Okay, originally I went back and I rewatched that first episode. I'm getting everything ready for the official launch, and it was a little cringy for me. It was a little embarrassing.
Mediocre.
And I definitely had a desire to delete that entire episode and refilm and re-record all of it. And it was just it's subpar for what my expectations for myself and the content that I make are now in this moment 3 months later. But after some thinking about it, I've decided I think it's important to keep it, and I think it's important to publish it anyway for several reasons. And the first of which is that one of the core values of the Renegade Institute is our need to be authentic, right? It is incredibly important to us that we present ourselves as we are, and that we are real and we're down to earth, and that we just have a really grounded mentality about what we do. I don't want it to be fake. I don't want it to be forced, and I don't want to put up this false veneer of perfection and excellence that we ultimately don't have and just can't live up to. And so if I were to delete this first episode and re-record it and make a new one with what I know now, in one sense, it would kind of be disingenuous. It would kind of be like lying or putting up this false facade of professionalism and presenting myself as better than I actually am, or at least better than I was at that time. And I think it's important that we show that authenticity, that we show that we're just human as well. And such an incredible part of being a renegade is being okay with and accepting that where we're at right now isn't necessarily where we'd like to be, and that there's a little bit of a difference there, and that we're always going to be trying to strive for something more, something that's just barely out of our reach. And that is like a core part of the Renegade Institute identity. That's what being a renegade is. The second major reason is that by keeping the first episode, this creates a really good opportunity for me to practice humility and for me to kind of push back against my ego. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? Like I see something and I'm like, oh God, that's not as good as I can do it now. That's going to make me feel bad about myself. And no, it's not. It's just going to make my ego feel bad about the person that I was. And like my ego would love to think that I'm perfect at everything I do or damn near close to it. But in reality, like I am a very stereotypical medium average human, right? I have my own flaws. I have my own limitations, and I am still very much a student of life, just like everyone else is. And a lot of times, like everyone's just making it up as they go. Just some can present a better front than others. And we don't want to do that here. We want to be authentic. We want to be genuine. And so that's kind of the beauty of the Renegade Institute, right? It's about creating a positive environment for people to come as they are, for us to identify areas we want to be better at, deficiencies, things that are like we're acknowledging, hey, this is not where I'd like to be, without judgment, and create a space for all of us to feel comfortable and grow and learn together. And the third one is that this first episode, it offers, like, it's so important because it serves as the pretest, right? It establishes the baseline of where we were at, and now we can use it as a metric to show how far we've come, how much we've learned, how much we've progressed over those 3 months. And we can use that to determine our measures of effectiveness. But we're going to be digging more into that idea. We have an episode called Weaponizing Your Success and Using Measures of Performance and Measures of Effectiveness. That's dropping on August 17th. But like, this is a core part of like living what we preach. That first episode is that baseline that we'd use to definitively prove our growth. And that's why it's so important to keep it. And really, if you can look back at yourself from 3 months ago and you can honestly say you're not embarrassed, that version of me did it perfect, then it also means you haven't made any improvements. You haven't grown. Over those 3-month period, you haven't grown. You haven't gotten any better. You're stagnating. You're becoming stuck. And you're probably not pushing yourself enough. And like, that is another core idea or entity behind the Renegade Institute, is that we are constantly trying to push ourselves to be better. Like, we are never done. Perfection is never achieved. Like, we're always just moving the goalpost. Like, if my goal is to be this strong, this effective, this smart, this knowledgeable, as soon as I come to meet it, we're going to push that goalpost higher, because that is how we are constantly improving and chasing after the idea of being the best version of ourselves. So, getting back to kind of the practical application, the episode itself, what did we like about it? Well, the core content is all still the same. Even though it wasn't presented great, even though the camera angles and the audio were wonky, the core content, all of it is exactly the same. Renegade Institute, we are still an unconventional YouTube channel dedicated to self-improvement with a focus on leadership, psychology, and conflict resolution. And we still very much have a drive for encouraging a lifelong passion for learning, critical thinking, and establishing a norm of rebellion against conventionalism and mediocrity. Like, none of that has changed. That is still the core essence of who we are. It's just the packaging around it could have been better. Our mission and our educational philosophy, all still the same. That's like, nothing about that has changed. So again, what were the improvements? Where are the areas where maybe we could have done a little bit better? And it's mostly the packaging of the idea, right? So it started with the audio quality. Like, oh my God, the mouse clicks. Already positive change. Just like clickety click, clickety click, clickety click. Like, I did not have a good podcasting microphone like I do now. I was using the microphone straight off the camera, and it was picking up every errant noise in a 20-meter radius. Also, the cameras, the difference between the two cameras. I had one nice camera and one very medium quality webcam, and like, the camera angles were super crazy. Weeks to start the Institute. The Renegade Institute is going to be the same. It's not just... So it'd be like, oh, you're looking at me 1 second, and then you're just like, complete side profile, and then you're looking at me, and then another complete side profile, and it was too jarring. Like, the quality of the image, the coloring, they were just too drastic. Like, that was something, looking back, I'm like, ugh, oh, that's not great. That just looks like a lower quality product than what I'd like. It also felt more robotic. Like, that was my first time really sitting in front of a camera, talking, kind of being comfortable with myself. And I hope to think that I've gotten better behind the camera, that I'm maintaining more eye contact, that I'm being more general, or more natural, more authentic, and that I'm less monotone and kind of sleepy. That's kind of how it felt. But it's funny, because then me describing all that, then I become not that. And now I'm just staring at my manuscript. And anyhow, we're moving on. Another aspect that was super embarrassing, there is definitely a spelling error within like the first 3 minutes on the final finished product that got posted. And that, like, that makes me look maybe a little less intelligent than I am. But I am definitely dyslexic. I was on a 504 special education program my whole life. So the chances of there being spelling errors in the follow-on episodes are pretty much almost guaranteed, and I'm sorry, but that's just who I am. And so if you find them, those will be like the little Easter eggs for you. So if you find spelling errors in my videos, blast them out in the comments below, and maybe you'll get like a prize from us, like a sticker pack or something. I don't know. We'll come up with something cool, but we'll make a way to make it fun. What did I straight up lie about in my first episode?
Lies! Deceptions!
So that's going to be like kind of the types of comment. So I really leaned into in that first episode. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be doing book reviews. I'm going to be talking about Simon Sinek, Robert Greene, Mastery, Malcolm Gladwell, all these things. And none of that has come to fruition at all. Basically, book reviews are not as compelling. They're not as exciting as I thought. I'm not feeling as passionate about making those things. And honestly, like, I am having way more fun leaning into my own personal philosophies, my own personal observations, thoughts, and theories. And even though all of my ideas are very much based upon the foundation of those kinds of authors and those kinds of books, I'm just having way more fun getting my own ideas and my own organic content out there first. I am still very much planning to do book reviews. Those will be coming down the pipe eventually. But as of right now, I've kind of pushed them back, and I will start splicing in those ideas when I start to kind of run out of steam in terms of my own content. But as of right now, like, I got pages and pages of notes. I got all sorts of episode ideas cooking up on the inside. I'm thinking about it all the time. So for right now, it's probably just going to be me doing my own organic stuff, and then we'll start doing more of the book reviews as I start to run out of steam. All right, interviews. Interviews are definitely on the way. I think that is incredibly important. I do not want this channel to just be one persona, one person. Like, again, we're building a community. We're building a culture. We want to bring in more content creators and ideas. But as of right now, I just do not have the street cred. Like, I'm a nobody from nowhere, and I'm not going to be able to get the kind of interviews that I think I want and that I think you guys want. And I just got to build a little bit more of a name for myself. And I also got to improve my studio. Like, if I got 2 people I'm doing interviews, that's twice the equipment I need. I need more microphones. I need more cameras. I need more lighting to be able to create the quality of product that I hold myself to. And so interviews are definitely on the way, but they're probably going to be a couple of months out as we kind of get our feet under ourselves and figure this all out. In terms of the production schedule, holy moly, was I off. I was ambitious, and that's good, because when you set your goals really high and you shoot for the stars, something about landing on the moon, who knows? Yep, something like that. But basically, I overpromised and underdelivered, which sucks because I hate doing that. But that's what happened. I greatly underestimated the amount of time it takes to edit a video. Like, as of right now, I'm getting pretty quick. I've gotten some good techniques. I've learned a lot more about using Adobe Premiere. But it still takes me about 12 hours to edit a 30-minute video. And there's just no shot that I would be able to make a 2-hour-long video every 2 weeks, do all the editing, script something out like that. Like, and the scripts were just getting way too long. Like, I get lost when they get past a certain point. I can't hold all the ideas in my head. I don't know where things are placed. I don't know what I've talked about and what I haven't. And it just, like, if it's more than a 30-minute episode at this point, I break it up into subsequent episodes, and you'll see that I've done that with some of the episodes coming out. But as of right now, you can anticipate every 2 weeks, I'm going to be dropping a 30-minute episode on something, and then in between those long format videos, we're going to be doing 2 shorts, 2 kind of teasers to kind of get you excited about what content is coming up. So in terms of, that was a lot of what I didn't do. What can you actually anticipate? What's actually coming down the pipe that you guys can look forward to? Basically, it's going to be me freeballing on whatever personal philosophy, crazy idea that I think is the most relevant and most pertinent, that I'm the most excited about to produce for that week. For the first 3 episodes, that's going to be what I came up with is our initiative series. It's 3 episodes that all kind of build upon each other for how do we understand and employ initiative in our life. The first one talks about how initiative is kind of the ideas of initiative that Hollywood and our bosses use. It's kind of gaslighting. They're kind of wrong. They kind of don't align with how we feel renegades should be viewing initiative. From there, in the second episode, we go into the dangers of living a reactive lifestyle, that when we live in a way that's reactive, it's a lot like using a credit card to pay for everything, only instead of our cash, it's with our time. And we end up getting stuck into a time debt trap, which limits our ability to capitalize on opportunities, and our ability to fully maximize our potential. And then I talk about the positives of living in a proactive way and what the difference is between a proactive person and a reactive person, and how we can reestablish, we can reclaim the initiative from life by switching to a proactive lifestyle. After that, I get into appropriate time management. So I use a tool that I love, which is called the Urgent versus Important Time Matrix. It's basically a tool that helps us categorize and understand all the tasks and all the things that we do in our day that take up time. And then by reframing it and kind of categorizing these different activities, we can see which activities are giving us our best bang for our buck and helping us manifest our potential, living fulfilling, helpful lives, and which activities do we kind of need to minimize and set healthy boundaries with so that we're not being bogged down in things that we're not getting a good return on our investment from. From there, I did a spontaneous episode on self-doubt and mentally fortifying ourselves for when we feel weak or we want to give up doing something that's difficult or something that's scary. Basically, I was in kind of a dark place. I was editing an episode that I wasn't super excited about. I felt like I was forcing it. I was like, gosh, I'm not very good at this. This is taking forever. I feel like I'm super repetitious. I feel like no one's going to like this content. The channel's going to fail. I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to have to sell drugs on a street corner. And then it's just going to be, and I just wasn't feeling good about myself. And so I decided to put a pause on the project that I was working at. And I was like, I should lean into this, because this is something that most everyone struggles with at some point in their life. And if I have a solution for it, maybe I just need to remind myself how I get through this. And so I leaned into those negative feelings. It's kind of a darker episode, but I actually think it was really, really good because I was experiencing it in the moment as I was creating it. So it was very raw and it was very real. On a note, my mom absolutely loved it. She thought it was the greatest thing ever. She shared the episode with 12 of her friends, and they're all therapists. So they then shared it with more of their friends, and it was a private link, and we hadn't launched yet. So it created a bit of a thing, and I had to be like, Mom, stop it. But she loved it, which is hilarious because my wife watched it and she was like, I have literally never experienced self-doubt in my whole life. I have never felt like I was unable to do what I wanted to do. And so she was like, yeah, that episode, it just didn't resonate with me even a little bit. I love her to death and I think that's awesome, but that's crazy. But yeah, so my mom loved it and my wife was like, it's totally mess. So I'm super curious to see what you guys think about it and if it's useful or worthwhile, or if I'm just talking about if I'm the only one that struggles with that. From there, we're jumping into an episode on weaponizing our success. And that's using measures of performance and measures of effectiveness. We talked a little bit about that previously in this episode, but basically it's using a proven strategy to demonstrably show that we're getting better and that what we're doing is working, so we don't waste our time doing ineffective tasks. And then lastly, the last episode that we have recorded as of this time that's kind of in the pipe, that's going to be our Becoming a Master Conflict Navigator, where we jump into the 5 different conflict styles and when you'd want to use each of those styles and in what situations. We also kind of touch on if, depending upon which style is your preferred style, what it might say about you and what are the pros of that and what are some of the limitations of that style. Beyond that, you're just going to have to subscribe and see what's coming down the pipe. We got a lot of great ideas. I got a ton of great content coming your way, but you're not going to know about it if you're not subscribed. So if you feel like we've earned it, smash that like, smash that subscribe button, and come follow us on this crazy journey. In conclusion, we have learned a ton over the last 3 months. I had literally never used Adobe Premiere before in my life, and there was a whole lot of building the plane in flight and YouTube University for the win. I learned that I needed, if you want to make a top quality product, you need the top quality equipment. And so we got 2 identical cameras now. All the settings are the same. That should fix a lot of that stuff. Real microphone. We got a real microphone and making sure that the audio is good. I think the audio quality has gone up significantly and we no longer have any, little clicky noises. Oh my God, my script. Yes. And what am I hoping to improve or bring for the future? Honestly, I want to focus now on making better hooks and creating better short form content. I think that we do a lot of really good things on our long form content, and I want to be able to make short form content that isn't just like a teaser of like, hey, here's this great idea. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to watch the long video to find out. And I want to like break the long form content into more like, hey, here's a single serving idea that can be really helpful and fruitful so that you're getting something out of that content as well. I'd also like to get better at editing. I'd like to be faster at editing. I would like my transitions to be better, overlays, and just make it look a little more professional in that regard. I think I'm on like the top tier of amateur, but like, again, I only know what I know. Or rather, to be honest, I think we're getting to the point that we just want to outsource the editing. So if you know a guy or gal that's good at editing videos and they want to make some money on the side, we're looking for a video editor. And maybe there's like some overlap there on a zone of possible agreement, as the negotiators would say. But anyhow, I don't know if this episode was more for you guys or if it was just for me to try and like recover from and make my ego feel a little bit better about dropping a subpar product. But hopefully you're intrigued. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully we've hooked you enough that you're going to show up again on August 3rd. That's going to be the big date. We're going to drop 4 episodes on August 3rd. And then from that point on, we are live. We will be dropping a new episode every 2 weeks with shorts in between each of the major episodes. If you want to become part of the Renegade Institute family, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. Or if you want to be part of Renegade Institute history, drop a compelling comment in the comments down below. That's like, we will go back, we reread all of those, and when we do our Redux episodes or our remix episodes on some of our content, if you make some really good content, we might ask to bring you onto the show, or we might feature your comments. So come be a part of Renegade Institute history. Outside of that, for the closing thoughts and quote of the day, this one's coming from Jerry Rice. He said, "Do today what others won't, so tomorrow you can do what others cannot." That's all I got for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys again on August 3rd. Outside of that, Lux Via, my friends. Cheers. Yeah, I liked it. First episodes are going to be dropping August 3rd. I butchered the crap out of that. Everything is all out of order. It's fine. We're just going to keep rolling like it's great.